Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. This is Dana Zulik, and uh, I'm your host of Local Wars. Welcome, Local Warriors. So, first of all, I want everybody to know that I am, in fact, hands-free. Don't want anybody freaking out that I'm driving while on air, but the reality is that I'm just doing very rural subdivisions on a quiet Sunday afternoon, and I'm passing out flyers. So, today, I just wanted to go over what getting active and making a difference in your local government may look like, especially if you're on a budget like we are. um, so what we did was we took these flyers like this. Here's my flyer. Here's Jeff Kreutzer's flyer. He's running for write-in. And then here's Pam Duane's write-in flyer. We have it rolled up with an application for absentee ballot. And we rolled thousands of these. I don't want to quote and say how many thousands because I don't know the exact number, but I'm responsible for 3 districts. And so yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I think I just rolled that one the wrong way. Sorry, Pam. Pam gave me the idea of doing this though, not specifically to go live, but she had posted a little short video on her Facebook campaign page for Richfield trustee write-in. And it was really cute because it showed the printer we were using, which is a printer I've had for probably 8 years or so. It's a good printer, but we really worked it hard. It's been a workhorse for the past few weeks. Happy to get it some use, and that's its job in the world is to print flyers. So yeah, so we've got a group of people that just drive around and pass out flyers. I prefer to kind of do it on my own. I like to listen to my YouTube geeky channels that nobody else likes to listen to. I don't know why, it's so engaging. But yeah, but it's partly why I started the YouTube channel. There went another one. Okay, hold on. I've even got Pepper here. Pepper, say hi to oh, sorry about that. Say hi to everybody, Pepper. I mean, let's face it, Pepper, you're the real hero, right? So anyways, yeah, I've done quite a bit this morning, but I like to go by myself, listen to my shows. Gives me a chance to clear my head, and thankfully today's quite beautiful. The car here says it's 55 degrees out, which is awesome because today is, oh man, guys, what is today? Today would be the 8th? 9th. Yep, today's the 9th. Yeah, spring is near. I already had my Starbucks this morning. My daughter had to go to a friend's house to work on a school project. So we went to Target and got her supplies that she needed for the project, dropped her off. But of course we hit Starbucks before even going to Target. And then, oh, sorry, Pepper. She's like, Mom, what are you doing? Yeah, and then I just kind of hit the road, and my way of doing it also frustrates other people because I sort of just hit the big subdivisions. And then later I'll go with a partner and do the outskirts because obviously I'm not going to drive on the wrong side of the road. You know, without a stuffer. It's when you're in a quiet subdivision, obviously. If you have a good line of sight, I'll just kind of drive and stuff them in there. But definitely, oh, I know this neighbor. But yeah, it can get tedious and stuff, but it's worth the effort. No, back in the car, Pepper. No, back in. Pepper's like, whew, new smells. Let's go check it out, right? So I just wanted to keep this casual, kind of talk to everybody about what it looks like when you do grassroots. Our country was settled by a whole bunch of really strong-willed, freedom-minded individuals, and when our government gets out of control, there's nothing more American than getting grassroots about it, spreading the message, what your government is doing. They can try to silence us. They can try to make us look crazy. They can try to make us sound ridiculous. I mean, anybody who watches my channel knows that, I am a conservative. I'm not going to lie about that. I am guys, you got to see this. Look at this. No bucks. Like, how do I do this? I don't know. It's a fish. So let's see. Oh, I did it. Woohoo. But anyways, I do vote for conservatives in general. I myself left the Republican Party quite some time ago because, quite frankly, I'm frustrated with both political parties in general. It's my true belief that until we end apathy, I gotta pull over to the side here. I don't want to get hit head on by somebody. It's my belief that until we end apathy and corruption in our government, how are we supposed to fix any other issue, right? Because right now, our lawmakers are serving special interests far more than they're serving the American people. I know it sounds cliche. You've heard it before, but I promise you guys, it's exactly what's happening. And I was apathetic. I was an apathetic voter until I went through my own personal experience. And once I saw what was happening and the proof was exposed to me in front of my very own eyes, I felt a very strong conviction to stand up and hold the people accountable, right? So, there's this idea in the community that I'm revengeful. Like I want revenge on the village of Richfield for making it so hard for me to start my business. And I would like people to challenge themselves. And although I'm very proud of our win against Richfield, the reality is it is not me that wants revenge. I went to court and let the courts decide, and I won. So, I think it's interesting when people believe a narrative and they get into that groupthink process. They just can't make sense of it, right? They're like, well, how did she win if she's this person that the government has told us that she is? And I can go through some of those things that local officials have said about me. Jim Healy likes to say that I have limited capacity. Well, I'm not sure what he's trying to get at with that, because limited capacity, I mean, I suppose if you have the resources of tax dollars at your fingertips and you use it to make somebody's life super duper hard, unlike other people, right? Like he's not, I've done open records requests about him and between Jim Healy and agencies regarding other similar businesses in this area, and there's not correspondence about it. You know, I don't see any efforts in the correspondence I've seen. There's absolutely zero efforts to hold me accountable or hold them accountable, you know, like he does with me. So I would argue that the revenge is actually the other way around, right? But let's get back to talking about the changes that we want to make in Richfield. I am so proud. There's a whole group of really strong, I mean, we have men, don't get me wrong, we have men with us too. We love our men. But it's the women that have really come together, and there have been so many relationships within the community that I have been able to repair, which has been phenomenal because, you know, the village of Richfield and their officials, along with neighbors, you know, have damaged my reputation in the community. You know, I think if I was the type of person to, you know, if I was an average, everyday person who didn't want trouble and just, you know, didn't want conflict, you know, they would have chased me away. They would have, you know, I don't know too many people that are, you know, I always tell people when they say, well, I hear you're crazy. I'm like, well, I guess I'd have to be crazy, right? I mean, but in my mind, in my experience and how, you know, what I'm experiencing inside of me about it is more of accountability. It has to do more with accountability. You know, I thought the courts would sort it out and Richfield would just have to accept the fact that the DNR regulates my site and not them. And that didn't happen. So there's other people in the community that I had tried to assist because they have similar issues. And, you know, the same thing, they had to file bankruptcy, they, you know, hardships, just big hardships, and all for what? Just so that Richfield can win? I mean, I don't understand. It's just nonsensical. Where's the ability to prevent legal battles and prevent issues within the community and find a way for, you know, for resolution and compromise? And anyways, I know I'm on a soapbox, but oh, sorry, Pepper. Yeah, so I'm really excited that for the changes that we want to make. We have over 900 signatures that for people that oppose the no halfway house. We have a really strong grassroots movement. We've got a lot of measures in place, you know, to help spread the word and get the word out there. You know, and I want everybody to know that's part of the no halfway house movement here in Ridgefield. You know, we can go over some of the talking points if you want. I'm doing this just like a conversation, guys. Like I'm just pretending, you know, I'm just hanging out with you guys in the car, talking to you about stuff. So if you're new to the channel, let me give a little brief rundown. So Richfield, poorly advertised that there was going to be a new development. The St. Hubert's Church that St. Gabriel's still owns. It's over on Hubertus Road in Richfield. And the village of Richfield sent notices that this halfway house was going to go in. Well, the way it was advertised was that it would be a drug and alcohol treatment facility. And well, it's really misleading because the reality is that this is a halfway house. And they take people for, you know, less than prison sentences, which is fine. People, you know, there's a need for places like this, and we understand that, but, you know, they need to be located in areas that have the proper resources. Police. We don't even have police in Richfield. We contract with the sheriff's department. mental health services. This organization doesn't even support taking medications for mental health issues. When we discussed with the director at the open house, they basically said, well, we encourage people to change their life and pray more. And well, I think our society has had enough of the extreme ways of fixing mental health, right? So what evidence-based data do they have besides their own opinions, right? I mean, they can give us whatever numbers they want because they're not licensed. This organization is not regulated. And as a conservative, I know that opens up the debate of religious freedom. But with the mental health crisis that we have in our country and the drug crisis that we have in our country, isn't it time that we come together from the both far ends of the spectrum, right? There's got to be a solution. Why is it one or the other? I think I've shared with people before, I am a combat veteran, and I have struggled with my mental health. I've been through treatment. I fortunately have never struggled with substance abuse. But some of the programs I went through, I was in the groups with people who struggle with substance abuse. And I'm telling you, if the underlying medical and mental health conditions aren't looked at and aren't treated, you're already giving yourself an uphill battle. I would even go as far as to argue it's sort of like refusing medical care to a child when they need it because of an extreme religious belief. I mean, we have a responsibility as a society to protect our well-being and those of our children's. And so I don't know, I just feel like, when I hear people that support the group, I think their hearts are in the right place. I think they're like, hey, how can I be against this? They feel like bad people because, like, let me rephrase it. It's not that they feel like they're bad people. I think they're afraid they'll be a bad person if they were against this coming into the community. And let me tell those of you who are new why. Well, we had a priest here in Richfield. He's the priest of St. Gabriel's. And since they're the ones selling the property, he got real upset about the petition that was started to stop it. His idea was, God and Jesus want us to accept people and be good neighbors and invite them in. I don't think anybody disagrees with him about that. I think it's harder these days to find someone who isn't affected in some way, shape, or form by a loved one or a friend or a loved one's family member that struggles with addiction. We all know that people need help. I think the biggest question we have is, what does that help look like? Why do we have so many, so much school violence and, it's an epidemic. And the only way we're going to find solutions is by providing the proper care, right? Let's get these young people into programs that actually help them work through the issues that are causing the addiction to begin with, right? Because I think I saw one of the critics online. They said something like, you guys are all acting like you're doctors, like you know everything about mental health. And it's like, well, right. And I challenge you to ask any doctor or nurse that anybody that that works in the mental health field, and they're going to tell you this organization is somewhere that they warn people about. Okay, so if anybody out there feels bad because Father Tim said you would go to hell if you signed the petition, I would encourage you to know that Father Tim is misinformed. This organization is not well respected amongst people in the medical field because it's extremism. Um, there was a time when they still were pushing conversion therapy for gay people. And although some people might agree that that's still something that should happen, I don't think it's under the, what's the name of the book? The, gosh, I'm live on my phone, so I can't research or share any links right now, but I think it's the sword and the, if anybody's on here, let me know what it's called. I can't remember. But it's like the fire and brimstone concept, you know? It's like, it's just this idea that you know your faith is weak and therefore you're having mental health issues, and that's not appropriate. That's called shame, right? And I think we've learned that shame can be a tool that's used to control people, right? But I would challenge everybody out there to think this. Don't you think addicts have enough shame? Don't you think they already have enough self-shame? I'm proposing to you that organizations like this actually damage people. And I say that because there are actually groups online. And I'm happy to provide the links and stuff in my next show, or maybe I can go back and add them to the links on this show. But yeah, it's interesting. So that's what's going on. I just wanted to touch base with everybody, say hello, let you know that we're still moving. And normally I'm doing more shows, but this is campaigning season and we have until April 1st. That's the day that we all vote. So I didn't see anybody jump on during this live, which is fine, no biggie. It was an impromptu, just impulsive thing, wanted to say hi. And we will be doing some shows this week. The flyering took precedence, and between the printing, the assembling, and now the delivering, you know, it's taken up a lot of our time. So I would encourage you to jump over onto Facebook, onto Fight for Our Community, Richfield Hubertus, and you know, get engaged. You have to answer a few questions, you know, because this is a private group, because you know things get spicy. Local issues can get very contentious, and you know, it's emotional. It affects people personally. Your vote at the local level has more weight than it will ever have in any other election. And I think once people see that their vote really does matter at the local level, I think people will be more inclined to serve their communities, right? Let's give term limits, even at the local level. Argument is always like, well, we don't need term limits at the local level. It's not like we're president, you know. And my argument to that would be, well, yeah, right. No, we need fresh blood, and we don't want people like when a seat opens up because of a term limit. That gives us the greatest thing in the American way, right? Is to democracy, like two candidates on one side or the other running against each other and not against an incumbent. So I would say the opposite. I think it's a good thing to have term limits. So anyways, y'all have a good day today. Say goodbye to Pepper. Bye, Pepper. Love you. Have a great day, local warriors. Bye.